As most of the Legend of Zelda fans know, there is a constant pattern within the game series. Link and Zelda appear in all of them and usually have to face Ganon, the Demon King. Something that maybe some fans aren't aware of is how this actually began and why the two heroes are reborn over and over. This answer can be found at the end of Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is the first game in the Legend of Zelda timeline. This is where it all began. In the game, Link descends from the sky city called Skyloft to find his best friend who was swept off the city in a disaster. After realizing the deeper meaning behind Zelda's disappearance, Link continues on his quest and eventually defeats the imprisoned 3 or 4 times, which was revealed to be the sealed form of the Demon King Demise, the original villain within the series. It eventually comes down to a standoff where Link defeats Demise, whom curses him and Zelda before being sealed within the Master Sword. It was this curse that caused the infinite reincarnations of the goddess and her chosen hero. However, there is one thing that Demise adds as he has fallen that is a little interesting. My hate never perishes. It is born anew in a cycle with no end. This would imply that not only would the two heroes reincarnate, but so would Demise. But where is Demise? Throughout the timeline, there is no one who seems to be the spitting image of Demise or even takes that name. The answer to this? Well, like the goddess Hylia, after she was mortally wounded, had to be reborn as a human/Hylian. The same went for Demise, only he reincarnated into the Gerudo we know as Ganondorf, and takes on a stronger pig-like form known as Ganon many times in the series. Not convinced that Ganon is really Demise? Demise was known as the Demon King. You know who else is known as the Demon King? Ganon. In addition, Ganon is always defeated with light, whether it was from the light arrows or even his own light orbs in the classical game of light ball tennis. You know who else was defeated with light? Demise. Link had to fight him with his own lightning to defeat him. With those two facts, plus the fact that Ganon is reincarnated alongside the heroes, just as Demise said, it is quite clear that Ganon is actually Demise. However, there is even more to the story than most people consider. Chances are, Demise was actually the original chosen hero for Hylia. When she saw how his dark mind worked, she probably turned her back on him and denied him access to the other pieces of the Triforce, which would explain why he is always after them. When Demise called on for war, Hylia must have had to choose a new hero, that being Link. Here's why I believe this. Let's look at some of the things Demise says. During the short time we have encountered him, he made it clear that he hated the goddesses and the humans. But why does this hatred boil? I think it is safe to assume that this story may parallel the story of the rise of Lucifer, aka the devil. Christianity tells how Lucifer was once an archangel, meaning one of the higher-ups. God then created the humans as his chosen people and granted them the privilege of forgiveness, something the angels were not granted. Furious at the favoritism, Lucifer gathered an army of rebellious angels and waged war with God. After God obviously won, Lucifer and the other fallen angels were sent to hell. Similarly, Hylia chose the humans, whom were later known as Hylians, to be her chosen people. I'm sure Demise wasn't thrilled at this choice and argued with the goddess on her decision. When he wasn't satisfied, he likely waged war against her before she sealed him down under the earth along with the other demons until he broke loose. While the story is highly likely, none of it can be confirmed except for the fact that Demise was actually cast down under the earth with the other demons, and that the Hylians are the chosen people of the goddess. However, I do have other reasons to believe that Demise was still the chosen hero before he rebelled. Take a look at his sword. The design resembles the Master Sword. Perhaps this was the original design, or maybe it looked just like the Master Sword, but the design altered upon Demise's evil hand. That's not the only similarity between the swords. Just like the Master Sword and Skyward Sword, the sword has a servant inside of it granted by Hylia. While Link's sword has Phi, Demise has Girahim. Why would Demise's sword have a servant within it like Link? Hylia only granted the Master Sword a servant for the sake of helping Link, her chosen hero. Wouldn't the same go for Demise? Perhaps she gave him this servant in order to aid him before she saw his darkness. Not only that, but Demise has the same skyward strike that Link does. By pointing both swords to the sky, Demise or Link could summon the lightning on their battlefield. Finally, the last similarity on the sword is the symbol of the Triforce. Only, Demise's Triforce is turned upside down. This symbol resembles Lorule, an alternative world in the game A Link Between Worlds. Lorule is a representation of the world in ruin and destruction, meaning the symbol would stand for this as well. So, perhaps Demise's Triforce is upside down due to his ideals and wish for ruins. So is this enough proof for you? I think it's quite clear that Demise is the original chosen hero who rebelled later on. While my theory is based on many different parallels found in the game to the biblical stories, that portion of the video isn't 100% backed up. However, the majority of what we have spoken about can be backed up by the games, designs, and information found in Hyrule Historia. Well, that's it for this video. If you have any comments, questions, or rebuttals, please feel free to leave them down below. See you later!